You just sold your company for $10 million. You think you finally won the game of life. But what nobody tells you is that the exact second this wire transfer hits your account, your old life is completely dead. We've all fantasized about the big exit, but the reality of a massive liquidity event is not just yachts and vacations. Today, we are going to break down the exact mathematical reality of a $10 million payout, how the elite banking system immediately shifts its rules for you, and the dark psychological reality of how your friends, society, and your own family will treat you once they find out you are rich. Because getting rich might solve your financial problems, but it's about to create entirely new, terrifying ones. Let's look at phase 1, the math of the exit. It's day 1, the deal is closed, but you don't actually have $10 million. Before you can even pop the champagne, the economics of this transaction take over. First, your business broker takes a standard 5% cut. That's $500,000 gone. Next comes the IRS. Depending on your state and how your corporation was structured, you are looking at federal capital gains and state taxes that will instantly vaporize another 20% to 30%. Suddenly, your $10 million exit is actually $6.5 million in liquid cash. Now, $6.5 million is still life-changing money, but this is where the financial infrastructure around you shifts overnight. As you move up the wealth ladder, how banks treat you fundamentally changes. You are no longer a retail banking customer. You are now a target. Within 48 hours of the public filing, your phone will start ringing. Private wealth managers from Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and Morgan Stanley will find your cell number. They will offer you exclusive access to private credit lines and alternative investments. They aren't doing this because you're special. They are doing it because your $6.5 million is an asset they want to put under their management to collect a 1% annual fee, earning them $65,000 a year just to hold your money. You thought you were retiring. In reality, you just traded your old business for a new one, managing a multi-million-dollar pool of capital. But the math is the easy part. The real danger begins when the news leaks to your social circle. Phase 2 is the social contagion. When you become the first millionaire in your family, the dynamic shifts irreversibly. You might try to practice stealth wealth. Maybe you even decide you're going to keep driving the exact same car for the next 10 years to avoid suspicion. But in the age of the internet, massive business acquisitions are public record. People will find out. First, it's the subtle entitlement. You go out to dinner with lifelong friends, and when the check comes, everyone subtly looks at you. The unspoken rule is suddenly, you have $10 million. Why wouldn't you pay for a $300 dinner? If you pay it, you become their ATM. If you don't pay it, you become the greedy, stingy villain who forgot where they came from. Next come the pitches. People you haven't spoken to in 5 years will reach out to catch up. But there is always a catch. They want you to invest in their restaurant. They want a bridge loan to save their failing business. This is the psychological burden of new wealth. Every interaction becomes a calculation. You will begin to question if your friends like you for who you are, or if they are just proximity seekers trying to get close to your capital. You lose the ability to complain. If you are having a terrible, depressing day and try to vent to a friend, you will be met with zero empathy. Because in society's eyes, money invalidates your right to be unhappy. This brings us to phase 3, the void. You've successfully shielded your money from taxes. You've successfully navigated the awkward family dynamics. You finally did it. You escaped the rat race. But nobody noticed. For the last decade, your entire identity was tied to building your company. Your stress, your dopamine hits, your daily schedule, they were all dictated by the business. Now, you wake up on a Tuesday at 9 a.m. and you have absolutely nothing to do. This is the ultimate paradox of the $10 million exit. You bought your ultimate freedom, but you sacrificed your purpose to get it. Society assumes that wealth buys endless entertainment. But the human brain habituates to luxury incredibly fast. The thrill of flying first class wears off after the third flight. The excitement of a supercar fades when you realize it's just a machine sitting in traffic, quietly draining your wealth through depreciation and insurance. You are now part of an invisible class. Too rich to relate to your old working-class friends, but perhaps not wealthy enough to run in the circles of billionaires who own airlines, stadiums, and hospitals. You are stranded in the upper middle-class void. It is a massive economic victory that comes with a steep, hidden social tax. The money buys you undeniable security. You will never have to worry about a medical bill or a mortgage payment again. But the cost of that security is your anonymity. It is the filter you now have to put over every new relationship. It is the heavy burden of having to reinvent your entire identity from scratch, because the title of CEO has been replaced with retiree. A massive liquidity event doesn't solve your life. It simply replaces your working-class problems with elite-class problems. The bank treats you like royalty, your family treats you like a bank, and society expects you to be perfectly happy. You finally bought your freedom. The only question is, can you afford the social cost?